I'm Midwife Bowley, Director of Public Health for Powys Teaching Health Board. During the lambing season in Powys, we're asking and advising pregnant women to take some extra steps to look after their health by avoiding helping with the lambing season in order to try and protect themselves and the health of their unborn child from the risk of infection. Although the risk to pregnancy is small, the consequences can be serious, and it's important that pregnant women and their families are aware of these risks and take the necessary action to protect themselves.
Hi, my name is Eve Thomas and I am a vet at Bilthwell's Veterinary Practice. So lambing ewes can be associated with lots of risks to women. So there's infectious diseases that they can get from sheep, and it can be contaminated bedding, hurdles, sort of fencing, equipment, as well as the birthing fluids, the afterbirth and newborn lambs themselves as well. There are several diseases that can be problematic. There's some that people are probably more aware of than others, and I'm not going to give a full list. So just a few examples would be toxoplasmosis, enzootic abortion, which is chlamydia, and then there's listeria, salmonella as well. So you just really need to be avoiding contact of any of those risk factors, so it's obviously quite extensive really. So I think the main thing with this is being really aware all the time, so just have it in the forefront of your mind, and it's hygiene, hygiene, hygiene. So disinfecting your pens, washing your hands really thoroughly. If you've got washing facilities outside of the house, then using that as a wash station, sort of a first wash station before you go in. I mean, most farmers are going to be wearing overalls anyway, but thinking about washing those down before they go into the house, and then taking their clothes off and not allowing their pregnant partner to touch the clothes, so that just avoiding all contamination points, and then also thinking about touch points, so like door handles, those sorts of things, and just disinfecting, and like disinfecting round the sink areas. And if they're not sure what disinfectant to use, then their vets will be able to help advise of appropriate ones, and also SQPs in sort of farm supply shops will have that information, so that they know that they've got everything on hand that they need, and that they're using appropriate hand wash and things like that as well. So if farmers are having an abortion outbreak, then as soon as they notice any ewes abort, then they should contact their vet. And we can get them to come in and bring some samples in. We can take samples from lambs and send them off. Then we can hopefully find out what the problem is. There's various vaccines available for some of the conditions, so we can talk about implementing vaccine protocols if they don't already do that once we've got a diagnosis, and then we can help them with various treatments as necessary really once we know what's going on.
My name is Caris Griffiths and I'm a community midwife in Powys. I'm also a farmer and live on a farm. The pregnant woman should make sure that she is not delivering lambs really while she's pregnant. The fluids around the lamb can carry toxoplasma. So it's important that she doesn't deliver, that she doesn't get in contact with the waters around the lamb, not touch at all the afterbirth, and also the milking ewe, so no fluids The toxoplasma usually lives within the afterbirth, so it is very important that she doesn't touch the lamb, touch any fluids, doesn't touch the placenta or the milking ewe. It's also important for her to check her environment and make sure that the fluid hasn't gone on the straw, on the fence, on the posts, so being very careful. The pregnant woman living on a farm should be aware of any symptoms that might develop. So if she's feeling ill, if she has fever, high temperature, lymph nodes as well, if they're swollen in any way, then she should see her midwife or GP immediately to gain the treatment that she requires for her and her baby. So the partner of a pregnant woman, he should really wash his hands with soap and water after delivering any lambs, and he should dry his hands properly as well. People forget about drying the hands, and then if you've got alcohol rub, hand gel, you could use that after, but the most important thing is to wash your hands properly. It's important for the farmer, if they're delivering, to use gloves or their overalls or long aprons, and also the partner really should be the one to put his clothes into his own washing machine and wash those clothes at 60 or so, or whatever the fabric can take. And also to ensure that if he's using boots that are out, that have been in the pens and everything, that when he comes into the house that he keeps them outside or in the porch so that they don't come in the house to the pregnant woman.
To keep safe during lambing, I will be staying out of the shed this year and leaving the bulk of the work to Ewan. There's little things I can do, I suppose, to help out in the house. So I'll be doing things like cooking, making sure there's food for him. Maybe I'll be doing trips to the vet to pick up things that he's forgotten, helping to keep organised, I suppose, making sure we've got a list and we've got everything we need ready, so we're not having to leave the farm and leave the shed to go and get things. We do have cameras now in the shed, which are really helpful, so I can keep an eye on my phone as well. So even if he nips out of the shed, if there's an emergency, I can give him a call and tell him to get back quickly. There's plenty of other jobs as well. We've got the dogs there, for example, so if I take time off work, I can go around, feed the dogs, let the dogs out while he's in the shed. So it's just doing whatever I can that isn't in the shed, really, and trying to find those little jobs that I can do. So to keep me and the baby safe on the farm during lambing, I stay away from the shed. Ewan will be doing all his own clothes washing. We have a sort of porch, I suppose, before you go into the house, so Ewan can take all his overalls off and things there rather than bringing anything dirty from the farm inside the house. But I guess the key thing is just to stay away from the any sheep that are lambing, not to touch any of the birthing fluids, and just accept that I'm not part of the lambing team this year.